Cafe Networking podcast promotes successful business experts. I'm Tom Rioch, connecting people throughout the world from my podcast studio in Brazil. Joining us today from Louisburg, Kansas is Marty Fahncke, investor, world-class marketer, expertise in mergers and acquisitions, growth strategist at Westboud Road LLC. So Marty, when should an owner consider selling their business?
Well, thanks for having me on the podcast, Tom, and thanks for that question. So when you look at the top 5 reasons business owners think about selling their business, so it comes up, number 1 is retirement. Number 2 is health issues, which we see a lot, unfortunately. Number 3 is partnerships gone bad. Number 4 generally tends to be burnout. And then number 5 is financial reasons. So here's the interesting thing is some of those are beyond your control, right? Health issues, they're kind of beyond your control. Lifestyle issues, which we see sometimes like a divorce or death in the family, something on that line. Right. Those can be beyond your control. Right. But when they are in your control, the number 1 thing we see is burnout. And so you can plan for retirement, okay, which every business owner should be doing. What's their succession plan when they're ready to retire from their business? You can't plan for some of these other things. And because of that, when should a business owner be thinking about selling their business? The answer is always. And why is that? Now, people might say, "Oh, Marty, well, you help business owners sell their businesses, so you're just being self-serving when you say that." I am not. I don't care if you don't use me, you never call me, or whatever. I want you to be thinking about it, and here's why. If you're working in your business and everything's going great, and then one day you wake up and you have a very serious illness that prevents you from working in your business for the next year, and you wind up with $1 million worth of medical bills, what's likely to happen?
Right.
It's likely that you're going to have to sell your business. Do you want to sell a business that's ready to be sold, prepared to be sold, and worth the maximum value when that happens? Or do you want to sell a business that's an absolute mess? Your books are a mess. It still revolves around you, and you aren't there to run it, and so it has no value. Burnout. When a business owner even thinks about selling their business, that's the time to start considering selling it. Here's why. If that inkling, when you started your business, you had all the fire, all the passion, all the eagerness, you were so fired up and ready to go. If you've had that business for 4, 5, 10, 20 years, and the thought pops into your mind in any way, shape, or form, hey, I wonder if I should sell my business. You better start making plans then. And I'll tell you why. Because once that doubt creeps in, or once that thought creeps in that maybe I'm getting burned out on my business, it is a rapid acceleration, in my experience, from there to your business being worth less than it would be otherwise. Once you have that, like, I've lost my fire, I've lost my passion, I've seen time and time and time again, businesses start declining. You start letting little things slide that you wouldn't let slide. You're not as aggressive about, marketing, right? And your financials will start to go down, and people will feel it, even if it's the most subtle, insignificant thought. I'm telling you, it's the most odd situation. I've been doing this a long time.
Success, unfortunately, brings comfort.
It does. And then once you go, I wonder if I should sell my business, get better plans then, because that is the moment that your business is going to start changing.
Well, when I got to the point that you mentioned the always, and I agree with you, because what I've seen here in Brazil and other places, most business persons, they don't understand the value of whatever it is they have.
True.
So before the planning, you have to sit down and say, what is it? What is it do I think that I have? And then go through that exercise with persons like yourself, just to determine what an eventual value of whatever it is. Sure. That could be the first wake-up call, because we can say, well, it isn't what I think it is.
Usually it is a great big wake-up call. Most business owners have this nebulous number in their mind that they think their business might be worth when it's sold, and most of them are quite shocked when they find out the reality, usually to the negative, sometimes to the positive. I had one the other day that was substantially more than he thought, and he was really excited, but that usually happens the opposite way, without question. So finding out, where is my business today? And then what are my goals tomorrow? is a great way to do it. And I always tell people, if they're starting to think about selling their business, the best time to call me is about 2 or 3 years before you're actually ready to sell.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is most business owners call me 2 to 3 weeks before they're ready to sell.
Well,
And that's not enough time to do all the things
right.
that we should do to your business to
Right.
make it the highest value and the best possible deal for you.
Well, you have the other side of the same coin. Just referring to what you said a couple days ago, when you had a client. If they are very successful, they might be on the other side. They might want to go out and buy somebody else, the acquisition.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you about this client really fast because it's a perfect case study. So this is an automotive shop. He's super successful. He's the number one automotive shop in his town.
Mm-hmm.
Great revenues, great profits, but he's been working himself to death. And I said, if you sold the business, what would you do? He's not an old guy. He's in his late 40s, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't figure he was just going to retire. And he's like, oh, I don't know. Spend more time with my kids. That's very important. Okay, what else would you want to do? Because I don't know. I'd probably tinker on classic cars and do classic car restorations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay. Because right now he's got a traditional automotive shop where
Right.
he's just fixing cars all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden he stops, and I'll tell you, Tom, I almost saw tears in his eyes. He goes, that's what I started out doing. That was my goal. And it's turned into this like high volume, high stress, constantly customers all day long in my shop.
Right.
He goes, but I originally started wanting to just rebuild classic cars. And I said, so we could sell this business that you have that's very successful for a very nice amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And you could go and start your classic car restoration business, which, is a few cars a year.
Right.
And it's on your schedule. And it was like watching a 10-ton weight come off of his shoulders. He's got a great business and it's making a lot of money, but it's not what he wanted to do when he started out. And it hit him.
So you really took him back to his dream.
I did. So not only is he going to now be able to pursue his dream, but he's going to have a very nice 7-figure check to go do so.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's all sorts of reasons for selling your business, and it's not always burnout. It's not always, traumatic things, but sometimes it's to move up to the next thing in your life that you really want to do versus what you feel like you have to do.
Very good. Well, Marty, how can our listeners find you?
Well, I'm pretty easy to find. My name is Marty Fahncke, Fahncke. I'm the only Marty Fahncke in the entire world. So if you Google me, it's me. That's good and bad. A, I'm easy to find. B, I'm easy to find. So I'm very proud of the fact that you can Google me and thousands of results will come up and all of them are good. I can be found at my website, westboundroad.com, or I'm very active over on LinkedIn, and I'd love a connection there, and happy to help answer any questions that any business owner might have about the process or value or anything else of their business. And we don't charge anything until something actually gets done. So,
and since you are world class, it's everywhere.
Exactly. We there are no borders in our business. About 60% of our deals are cross border. So we work in Canada and the UK and Dubai and Australia and all over the world.
Very good. Well, Marty, thanks for being with us and sharing today.
Thanks for having me, Tom. It's been fun.
Okay. And for our listeners, again, it's Marty Fahncke. It's Marty, the last name Fahncke. Fahncke. Find him at westboundroad.com and also on LinkedIn. Cafe Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at focusmi.com. Talk to Tom, talk to the world. Thanks for listening. Till the next time here at Cafe and Networking Podcast.